Hi, everyone. We're going to start our webinar this evening, which is focused on purpose as an authentic voice, as a driver in our life and world, especially these days. Purpose is a dharma. So when we talk about dharma in Eastern philosophy, dharma in many ways is considered to be the way or the righteous way or the righteous path. Different traditions hold it differently, but all of them has a certain way to hold them. Like, for instance, collectively, we can say that what's the circumstances that we are in right now is part of our righteous way or our path right now. And it depends how we actually engage in it with our passion, desire to support and help others, as well as what is the way to actually create a path within, even within these circumstances. As a matter of fact, the circumstances themselves, I would say, are forcing us to hone on the things that matter. And I'm not talking about survival. There are things that matter to each one of us that we have been avoiding, or we have been neglecting, or we have been saying there will be another time to do it. Well, guess what? This is the time. There's no other time. There's no other time. This is the time to hone on the things that matter and engage in them, especially in times that are a little bit constrained, mentally challenged, as well as circumstantial. Some of us are in harsh circumstances as well. So purpose is dharma, is really the time to hone on these areas and see where we can actually identify these areas that are important to us and bring them to the forefront. So I'm going to just go on few different aspects associated with that principles. Purpose as dharma, or one's authentic purpose as a way of being, as a way of operating, as a way of being engaged in what is true for each one of us and for all of us collectively. So let's kind of tap into some conditions that need to be in place for us to engage in our true calling or authentic message or voice, because this is what we want to form in the coming days, weeks, because life will still need us to show up, and we need to come and show up authentically. So let's look at what I call your purpose work. And let's look at how to engage in that fully, or at least create conditions to engage in it. Okay? So I hold it as 7 principles of one's personal purpose or brand or authentic self or message. So the one condition that we all are enthralled with right now and engaged with is about embracing the past and where we are at right now. It's understanding ourselves fully, where we at, what is on our hands, what is the experience we're experiencing, as well as where we were thinking we would be at this point in time, and be okay where we are at. Because here's the thing, if we're not actually accepting the conditions that we are at right now, or engaging in the falsehood of hopes that we had to be in this time and be okay with where we at, we cannot actually pursue the bigger picture that we would like to take on. We cannot pursue our true, authentic message that we would like to take on without acknowledging where we are at this point in time. So acknowledging where we at this point in time is basically understanding self fully and loving self fully, even in the face of thinking that we judging it, thinking we failed at this point, how come we didn't think about it long time ago, how come we didn't took on things long time ago. We need to create a space of acceptance and forgiveness so we can actually say, okay, this is the time. What can I take on in this point in time? The thing is that is in our way in many ways, and this is like we're talking yogic meditative technology. Our mind in that aspect right now, the whole world is engaging within a reactive condition. The conditions are reactive, but the people, the individuals and collective that are engaged in it from a place of looking at the situation and seeing what we can create at this point in time, doing much better than just reacting to the conditions or the circumstances that are in front of us. So one, in terms of like our mind, we have three minds. We can look at three minds that we engage with. One called the reactive mind, or the protective mind, the projective mind, or the positive mind, or the intuitive mind, neutral mind, or the meditative mind, you can say. Because when you engage in that, there's no judgment in place. So let's look at like the reactive mind is mind sometimes we do need to be reactive. We need to react on a situation. We need to get things done. We need to run away from a place that is in danger or fire or circumstances that can create harms to us. But most of the time, we are in a reactive presence, even to things that do not need to be reactive based on the past. So, and the thing that actually calms the reactive mind is connecting to conscious meditative breath, which we need to be much more engaged and focused on than any other time in this point in time. Okay? The projective or positive mind is that aspect of our consciousness that sees possibility, sees opportunity, sees taking risks, taking step forward. So at times we taking risks when we haven't actually engaged in we're being impulsive at times. So it's not reactive. We can be impulsive about doing something out of positive projection that we can take steps forward. We can, so sometimes projective mind is great because it's a positive affirmation, but we need also to measure the risks and the circumstances. So just being projective or positive in the sense of like always seeing opportunities without taking measures is also the other extreme. The third mind is the intuitive mind or the neutral mind, which is that part of the mind that brings things into neutrality. It takes the risks, it takes the possibility, and it doesn't react to any of them, but observe them without any judgment or opinion about it. So, and it provides us some sort of messages that are not based on past experience or projection. Projection is also based on past experience because we project pleasurable idea that is based on the past. So the intuitive mind, we engage in it through a meditative place, a place that is neutral and does not have any opinion about things. And meditation and breath, steady breath, is something that can entice or provide that space or rhythm for the meditative mind. In many ways, this time around, we need to engage much more in that meditative space to be able to see things for what they are. So, purpose is about also seeing truthfulness at the moment in time without any desire or projection based on the past, based on social norms, based on other people's opinion, based on our own judgment as well. It's basically looking at truth and passion and what we would like to be engaged in and forming a direction or a space that we would like to create. One way to tap the intuitive mind or the meditative mind that is really easy, it's a simple breath. It's called 3-point breath or 1-minute breath. It's inhaling, holding the breath, and exhaling slowly within even portions of time, building it up to a 1-minute cycle where the inhale is 20 seconds, the hold is 20 seconds, and the exhale is 20 seconds or 20 counts. That will neutralize the mind and create neutral space that is not conditioned by the past. At this point in times, it's a breath sequence that I would say is really important to engage in frequently, even twice or 3 times a day. Even if you do it 5 minutes to 11 minutes every time, you will see the difference, especially when our mind is reactive and rattled. So creating condition for our truth or authenticity to show up through intuition is a condition for our purpose. So today we're going to look at the first 3 principles to harness our purpose and its true story or authentic voice that is associated with it. Number one is creating an inventory of our vision. And as a practice, I would say first meditate and see what are the, as you breathe this 1 minute sequence, watch what is the things that comes to the forefront, what you would like to be, desire, what are the desires or the passions that are really important for you. And then immediately write 3 things that comes to your mind that you care about. Write them right away. You can do it right now as well. Write them right now. The second thing is you look at those 3 passions or desires that you have. I would say start to look and be truthful how much you are engaged in those themes, you can say, or desires, passions, as a daily practice. Just large brushstroke. Most of us has certain passions and desires, and we do not engage in them one bit on a daily basis. And so this is something to look at. Number 2, purpose has a driver. There's driver that drives our purpose or our passions and desires. As we identify passions and desires, we need to actually look at the ideals and values that fuel them. Seeing ourselves in a particular light, doing an inventory, what are the drivers? For example, if you would like to support others in their healing, emotional healing process, what are the ideals and values that are associated with that? If your desire is to share your art or poetry and reveal some truth that are hidden for other people, what are the values and the ideal that you need to engage in to produce that? And the second thing within this number 2, the second part is what are the engagement which will make more of you those ideals and values and your purpose in the world. Make a list of them. Start to actually look at the reality associated with it. Number 3 is the principle of coming from completion. As we're starting to be more and more engaged in our desires, passions, our purpose, our life missions, we need to come or visualize or hold in front of us the full experience we would like for ourselves in this lifetime. It's a key to any successful enterprise, seeing a vision that is fully fulfilled. So the more we are engaged in reality, even though it's not necessarily here at this point in time, the more and more we will start to live into that reality. Like becoming an expert, becoming a source in that area of passion. So just to sum it up, we looked at three principles. One, the first condition is to accept where we at right now, not to react to the place we at right now. The first thing was to actually engage and see what true desires we hold for ourselves and how much we're practicing them. The second one is what these desires and passions are driven by, the values and principles associated with it. And the third one is what is the vision. This is why people do vision board. This is why people do charts. This is why people do display. What kind of picture we see for ourselves living into in this lifetime. And this is it for today. More will come in part 2. We're going to look at the 4 next principles. And I'm planning to offer this process on a group level, mentoring process. It's going to be within a mentoring capacity. I would say within these circumstances, sometime in May, hopefully. And we're going to go through, live these 7 principles within 7 weeks and create an authentic brand together for each one of you that will serve you in the years, months, and years to come. Now, if you have other questions, please feel free to email them to me, or we can talk for a few minutes. And for more on the 7-week mentoring process around your purpose work, you can look up the description on my Facebook page under Akiva Satnarayan. Thank you for listening. And part 2 will happen next week on Tuesday, the same time.